Hey everyone, I hope all of you are doing good. Well, there was an incident a couple of days ago at Gurugram where a motorcyclist who was riding Kawasaki Z 900 was assaulted by a few uh, folks who were actually traveling in Scorpio, right? So I've gone through a few videos there. I'll just connect the dots here to bring some awareness and put across my perspective. My intention is not to challenge everyone. There are a lot of influencers, YouTubers, motorcyclists who have spoken about this incident, putting across their viewpoint. It's just my viewpoint, and also I believe that I have definitely the privilege to put across my viewpoint, challenging someone else's viewpoint here. That's the whole intention. And my reason for making this video is not to challenge anyone's thought, or rather, how do we avoid this situation? Be it that you're a motorcyclist, or be it you're a normal commuter, it's important how do we tackle this situation, right? So I'll bring few facts that I went through in the last 2 days. I was very curious the moment I woke up in the morning. I saw a couple of videos on the Instagram. I started doing some research to understand what exactly the picture is, because it was a little disturbing to see that somebody being smashed and belted the way I saw. And the whole episode looked little disturbing for me. So I did understand the background, and this is what I learned. Number one, in one of the videos, uh, a person claims that they were riding, and they were overtaking, and people in the Scorpio were trying to hit them at the speed of more than 100 kilometers per hour. Make a note of this. And in one of the other videos, that person who is getting belted, the motorcyclist who was pleading, "Bhaiya chhod do, bhaiya, sorry." Make a note of this. And in one of the other videos, I saw that there is another motorcyclist who was on a big motorcycle, who comes and parks while they were hitting the motorcycle with the baseball bat. Right. This is the third point I want you to make a note of. And in the video where someone has interviewed the victim, he claims that they were drinking and all of this. So 4 points I want you to make a note of this. Now let me connect the dots. Number one, right? They're trying to hit you at the speed of 100 kilometers per hour, right? So you already know their intention, that they're not at the right mindset. Do you really think that it was necessary for you and your group to stop there and try to negotiate with them? Number one. Number two, if you are not at fault, which we don't know the background about, I'm assuming there is some backdrop which we are not exposed to, because all the videos that were posted is mostly talking about how people in the Scorpio were at mistake belting them, which is absolutely wrong. You, as an individual, do not have any authority to belt anyone, hit anyone, manhandle anyone. I'm totally against it. I'm not taking sides of these people who behave like, gundas, who behave like, whatever you call them, right? That is not appreciated at all. Fact that I'm trying to bring is, if you're not at mistake, why are you asking them sorry? A natural instinct for anyone is they rather question, even if you're very very polite, humble, weaker person. You say, "Arey yaar, why are you hitting me? Why? Kyun?" He's rather saying, "Sorry, sorry, sorry. Please leave me." What? There is some backdrop to this, right? The third thing is, if their intention is to attack some biker, there's another biker who comes and stops along, right? While they were hitting the bike with baseball bat. Why didn't they even attack them? I think it looks like he was asking question that what happened. He appeared to be the person who was out of the group, right? And the fourth thing is, they were drinking, all of this. Nothing is connecting, there is some background to it. So let's park all of this. So I'm just connecting the dots. Now you made picturize things, what could have happened. So now coming back to this, if you connect all of this, how technically one should have handled the situation? It is purely ego, masturbation, nothing more than that. That's what I would call it as. People who were riding in the group, these people might have assumed, okay, we are in the group, maybe we can tackle the situation. There is something happened. Maybe they were trying to overtake each other. Maybe there were some gesture exchanges or word exchanges between them. They might have stopped, thinking that we this whole situation or event will get closed in a verbal exchange, or that is what could have been the reason. But people who were in the Scorpio were already high, though they're determined to take revenge. They found the weakest link, and they started taking an advantage. And rest, you know what has happened, right? So now the fact is, for the whole motorcycling community, in an ideal situation, I think the best thing you can do is to just elope from the situation. You're not going to become a courageous person getting into a street fight, all right? Especially when you're riding, your intention or your agenda, your goal is to go and reach your destination wherever you're planning to do. Unless you're going to get into conflict and, word bombs, or you're trying to probably exchange words or those things, then you deserve this. But what is the point? You should just move ahead. Do you think it really makes sense when you know they're drinking, they're trying to hit you? There is a very clear possibility. Their body language is very, very indicative. They're built like that, that despite knowing you're more than five, six people, all big bikers, if they're courageous enough to stop, you should have understood. Even at that point in time, you had an opportunity to just elope, right? Rather than getting into whatever discussion you guys have got into, right? Any experienced rider would ideally do that. I have been riding for last 13 plus years. I've ridden all kind of motorcycling. Currently, I'm also riding a big motorcycle, and I also encounter people who are very challenging, who are inquisitive, who are curious, who want to get along with you, who want to question you. A lot of things will happen. It's always better to avoid those situations rather than trying to convince anyone or trying to prove anything to anyone. It's just the ego that has taken over here, right? So I'll answer a few things. I think one of the famous YouTuber motorcyclist who has spoken in the YouTube channel. I don't take names because my intention is not to put on anyone. Maybe it is, if it is Royal Enfield Group, they would. It's all bullshit. Whether it is Royal Enfield, Kawasaki, Triumph, or BMW, group rights itself is a bullshit. So don't get carried away with all of this. See, don't tag things to brand. Whoever you are, Mister, with all due respect, this is not making sense to me because what I have seen I myself is a Royal Enfield was a Royal Enfield rider for a very, very long time. I've seen worse situation. As there is nothing like that. Royal Enfield riders are gutsy, Superbike riders are no. It's all individual. When it comes to human psychology, the bigger person, stronger person always wins. So that is what has happened. The same set of people, even if they were RE group, they would have failed the situation. As simple as that. It has got nothing to do with the brand. You know, That's another person. While he made a lot of sense, I don't know his name, and I randomly came across this video who speaks about learn MMA, carry weapons, carry pepper spray, carry whatever along with you. See, practically, I want you to understand, right? So it's again purely psychological game. If the Scorpio members were just 3, 4 in count, are courageous enough to get down and tackle you, don't you think they also might have weapons? Imagine the situation if you look at the video closely. I'll give the weapon to the hand of the guy who was bleeding, excuse me, and I'm damn sure he will not have a courage to execute things. He'll just get into a worse situation, showing weapon, whether it is knife, whether it is gun, whether it is a rod, whatever it is. Don't ever do it. MMAs and all may not work when you encounter people who are that big and who are more local in their nature. So it's all important. I'm not saying learning MMA for self defense is not wrong. It's absolutely necessary. Carrying pepper spray or carrying some safety things around is definitely essential. Sometimes it can come handy and save you also. But the best thing anyone could have done in this situation is just elope. Don't be the warrior, right? You're the best and the most strongest people are the one who avoid conflict, not the one who create conflict for themselves. Right? You might have seen a lot of videos, and it's not only about motorcycling community or the war between motorcyclists and the rest of the people in the world. Any road rage for that matter, just avoid. A lot of times staying neutral, doing nothing, just moving away can solve 99% of the situation. 1% is what we create to ourselves. Right? Today, if you look at especially in a crowded areas, road rage is very common. And one thing we all need to understand and digest is the moment you hit the road, whether you're walking, cycling, you're on a motorcycle, you're in the car, or you're in the flight or bus, your life is not in your control, right? So especially when you're on a motorcycle, you're already at risk because you're on a two-wheeler, and on top of it, just because you ride a big motorcycle, it doesn't mean that people salute you. It's a community where a lot of people like it. There is equal number of people who don't like us because they assume that we are all miscreants, we are all nuisance, we are there to show off. So we are creating havoc in the system. That's the mindset of the people. Don't assume that just because you ride a big motorcycle, you have people supporting you. Nothing. A lot of people don't care. It's very important. The bigger the bike, the attention is higher, and it's always good to stay away from the situation and not get involved with anyone or locals who seems to be risky. Very important message. I know as individual we all have point of view. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you have a different perspective. So if you have a opinion about this, please don't hesitate to put your comment, and I would request you to keep it respectful. But this is my point of view, and I think it's very good learning for us also to stay away from any conflicts, especially when we are in motorcycle rides, and ride safe, be safe, and be respectful for each other. Thank you.